Today we're going to look at a traditional scooping throw found in Daito Ryu. Also some similar variations in Aikido, and even Judo has a throw called sumi otoshi, which has some similar comparison. But we'll take a look at that. Take a look at an old jiu-jitsu technique called Dakijime. Dakijime, it's a lapel choke, cross-collar choke from both being seated. If she were to begin pulling me in to choke, I would follow this and attack her shoulder and scoop to where she drops at my feet. There's a pretty strong issue with this, the way it's traditionally practiced, and that's her lapel choke, if you noticed, was not very deep. So put that in again. No, shallow. That's the way we train in the old school. So a shallow choke, it's not going to happen. But we practice to be able to employ these movements. I would be very foolish to allow her to get both in. So what really would happen is she began the choke. If this one was in deep, I definitely want to stop this. And one way to stop this from entering is to attack the shoulder. So go ahead and get the other one in deep. Bad place to be. I definitely will be choked. As she starts to engage this one, go ahead and get as deep as you want. She's not going to be able to get the choke in. So there is a practical application of being able to stop the choke from being fully entered by attacking this shoulder, which prevents her from reaching. So if she's trying to choke here, well, we do this, right? So that stops it. If this arm was back and she's trying to choke, yeah, I mean, I can go ahead and get the other one in. I'm preventing that, but I'm in a poor position. I can't scoop her to stop the technique, but for sure, using another hand to block. So if we're back up on our knees, and she gets one choke in, obviously I could block this all day, and there's different techniques, but this one, this cross, as this comes in and I attack, I'm actually striking this, so there's some effort, and with a little shiko, knee walking, I can pull, and now I have a much more advantageous position. As you get one collar in and the other comes in, I strike. I can go forward. Go ahead and get this grip. Just by rocking forward when I make this contact, she's off balance. And I have to be able to scoop her back if your pressure coming in hard. So I can take a step backwards and get the same result. Traditional technique. But I'm looking at this for practical application. It's not common in a training session, tournament or whatever, to just sit in front of your opponent and attack with a cross-collar choke. Although that could be effective because nobody expects it. But what does happen is our opponent may reach and grab our collar, or they may grab our sleeve. So in this instance, I have the same opportunity because she's committed, where before she was trying to commit to this collar and I stopped. If she grabs this collar, she's still committed. I still have the ability to frame against the shoulder, which, since this is connected, when I push this away, there's only so much slack that goes before the rest of her body is engaged. And if I stand, the same technique. So it's a scooping throw. It doesn't have to be off of a traditional lapel choke. So look at it again. She makes a committed grip. I step offline, push and scoop, and it's pretty simple. She ends up spinning on her own axis. I like it when I pull out big words. That was actually 4 letters, but most people don't use axis on a daily basis. Even from a sleeve grip, she's committed. As I step offline, I'm impacting her body as I move anyway. But if I go across, attack the shoulder, and scoop, same technique applies. So let's look at maybe a beginning roll. She's committed to a grip. I've spun her on her axis again. she's going to try to prevent this. We're going to do a little live roll here just to see if I find an opportunity to scoop.
I don't want to grab you.
You don't want, oh, she doesn't want to grab because her grip, her committed grip, notice the thwarting of the technique. Without the committed grip, everything slips. How do I fix that scenario? I grip. Standing application of that traditional technique from the ground that we call Dakijime, striking and scooping. There's a technique called sumi otoshi, which judo actually utilizes as well. So from a collar and a sleeve, pull my opponent forward and I can dump to the ground. It's a difficult technique, it's definitely timing based. Aikido uses this as well for maybe a hand grab or a sleeve grab to pull my opponent out and I whip and scoop. And that's what we're going to look at. It's still a highly effective technique, but my opponent has to commit or I have to have a strong grip. So she makes a committed grip. Again, that's pretty important. If I try to pull her grip off and she doesn't let me,
Sorry.
it's okay. If she doesn't let me remove the grip, I may not want the grip there and I'll try to break it. But if I can't, that's okay. I'll just utilize this committed grip for this technique where the arm comes across, strikes at the shoulder to create this off balance, and then a scoop. Obviously, I'm going to step with that. So if we're engaged and I'm trying to throw or whatever, and I can't break this grip, I'll just step offline hard, which causes her to move. And at the same time, I'm going to strike the shoulder and scoop the hand. You ready for a break, Paul? Great. Offline.
Oh gosh.
Make a grip. It's committed. Can't break it loose. Offline. So this time, what if she's not committed? I have to be able to make my own grip. So I get my standard grip that I prefer from judo, but you can also make your little cuff, traditional BJJ grip. But if I have some strong sleeve control, I have a lot of opportunity to move offline and scoop my opponent down. One last look. Whether she makes the committed grab, whether she grabs my sleeve, or whether I grab her sleeve, I can always step offline, attack the shoulder, and scoop to cause my opponent to do a nice tumble spin, but regardless, I'm past her guard. Nice knee on belly control or rear attack. If I definitely want to have the offensive, then I'll make a committed grip. This makes it easy. I can push and pull, but that nice shoulder scoop back down, pretty effective.
What am I supposed to do with this hand?
I don't know what to do with my hand.